Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast.
This is where you will get smart tactics and strategies to accelerate your business.
And where we share top agent secrets and stories that will help all of us be better at our profession and serve our clients better. And we're your hosts, Todd Sumney
And Rich LaRue.
Let's get into the episode. Today we are joined by Richard Briseno from New Orleans, Louisiana. NOLA.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
And thank you, Richard, for
Glad to
joining
have you
us. Richard is a member of the Karen Trevis team down in New Orleans. If not the top team, one of the top teams, but I think most months they're the top team in New Orleans, doing phenomenal job down there working with buyers and sellers. And, you know, New Orleans has had its challenges as a real estate market. Yeah. But, Richard, your team has done a great job of helping buyers and sellers buy homes. And I think that's what we want to dig into today. Just talk a little bit about your business, how you got into real estate, how you've grown it, what are some of the unique marketing things that you're doing. And then at some point, we're going to have to talk about Lovey's and the national award that you just won with Lovey's. And we're going to leave it right there so that everybody...
You're going to have to duct tape my mouth closed because that's where I want to jump in first.
All right.
But we'll leave that as a teaser because we need to talk some real estate first.
Right. Yeah. So let's dig in though, Richard. So how many years have you been in real estate?
Well, first and foremost, thank y'all so much for having me on and inviting me. It's looking forward to it. So I have been licensed for a little bit over 8 years. I was got my license in 2016 and have been full-time ever since.
All right. But you grew up in a real estate family. You were probably a realtor since, what, the age of 5?
It seems like that.
With real estate in the house, you're doomed from the start, man.
Right. I'm very blessed to be a second generation realtor. I work with a team. My team leader is also my team leader, but I also call her mom. So we're a mother-son real estate team here in the New Orleans area. So this has been instilled in me for many, many years.
That's great.
Excellent.
That's great. How is your team made up? How do you operate? Can you tell us a little bit about the structure and just how you work together as a team?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have 3 members on the team. We have my mom, Karen, who's team leader. We have myself, and we have another agent on our team, Kelly Gross. When it was first made up from when I first came on in 2016, typically my mom would handle the listings. I would handle specifically just the buyers. It was easier for me to be the freshly new realtor coming in the market hungry and running and gunning and showing potential buyers house to house to house. But as I've grown, I now service and help buyers and sellers alike.
Great. Awesome. So take us back to when you first got your license.
Okay.
What were the first activities that you did to, when we talk about building a business, we're talking about helping buyers and sellers, right? And how do you start? How do you get going day one? You get your license.
Yeah, what do you do now?
Yeah, right. So my story is a little bit different than most. Like I mentioned, having a team leader, working with a team, a foundation had already been built, right, for the most part. I always joke and tell people I got fired 3 times my first year. One of the hardest transitions, becoming a realtor and working with a team, also your mom, was I had to look at her as not my mom, but a team leader. So sometimes we butt heads and she would just be like, I'm tired of your stuff. You're fired. And I'm like, I'm tired of your stuff. You're fired. And then we just look at each other with a blank pause and we're like, okay, where we're going to go to lunch. It wasn't real. It wasn't serious, but that was a transition, looking at her and being coachable and receptive of her only wanting the best out of me, right? So as far as laying a foundation, you get your license, you're brand new. Okay, what do I do now? For me, it helped that in college, I was involved with multiple organizations. So my sphere, my network of people was already established. fortunately for me, within my network and my sphere of people, that there was no realtors. So I was able to capitalize on that and really network and say, hey, look, I'm a realtor, I'm licensed, I'm full-time, I service multiple areas throughout the New Orleans metro area, and I would just love the opportunity to assist and help you with your any and all real estate needs.
Right. Well, and when you're young in real estate, and I mean young in age, sometimes, the average age of the average realtor, it's older,
Hmm.
right? And younger agents, I think one thing that I've seen agents struggle with is they have the knowledge, they have the experience, especially when they've grown up in a family
Right.
like
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
How do you, did you ever have those situations where people just thought you were too young? And, how did you overcome that? Because we have a lot of young people that are listening. They're
Mhm.
talented, knowledgeable, experienced, but they're younger, but they're go-getters, right?
Sure.
How did you overcome that?
Or
How
was it
did you
even
build your
ever a
business?
challenge for you?
Honestly, look, I was taught how to do things the correct way from day one. And so from day one, building that confidence into me. And look, sometimes it was baptism by fire. I remember my first closing. Uh, my mom just let me go by myself. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what I was looking at and this and that. But she put me out there so that I could really learn. And of course, she's there if I needed her. But I was very, like
Sure.
I mentioned, like I'm very fortunate for her to teach me how to do these things the correct way. So I never, maybe one, maybe two instances where I ran into where somebody thought I was a little too young per se, but I was, once it took me a couple months to build my confidence after I got that license, where I was like, okay, I could really do this. Um, and you just go, for me, I just went out there and it was just professional in everything I did. One of the things that have stuck with me since I was 15 years old. One of my first jobs was at a restaurant, and this older gentleman, he was probably in his mid 50s or 60s. I'm just a young kid. I'm 15 years old, and and he told me one day, he goes, Richard, he goes, I'm gonna give you some advice. I want you to remember this. I'm just a young kid, and he goes, no matter what you do in life, always be a professional about it. Be a professional in everything you do. And 15-year-old me retained that information to this day. So everything I do with real estate and in life and whatnot, I always just try to be a professional about it. And I think that really carried me along the way.
That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That is awesome. Um, let's talk a little bit about your mom's business. Okay, your
Sure.
mom built a business from I know from talking to her on relationships.
Hmm.
She told me she sends pizzas to friends, family, neighbors, just attends parties. Loveys is part of it. We'll get the Loveys later,
That's
but
the
it's
second time you've
I'm
teased us
I'm
all with
planting those
loveys.
seeds, but it's personal, it's relationships. Am I describing that correctly? Is there how would you
Absolutely.
and how did that impact your business? Like, what did you learn from just watching your mom?
Yeah. So look, I mean, real estate is relationship based. It doesn't for us, for our team, and really it should be for everybody. It should not just start and end with the transaction and that's it. For us, we like to continue to reach out to our clients, our past clients. We like to do these things every now and then. We're like, hey, let's call up 15, 20 previous clients. We know that Thursdays typically towards the end of the week, and typically people are tired of cooking. Hey, can we send you a large pizza? Nothing big, no incentive, no nothing. We just, just like a reminder, like we appreciate you for using us in the past. And everybody's very receptive of that. Um, um, and so for us, it's beneficial that we stay in contact multiple times throughout the year to let our clients know that we generally care about you and your well-being. What we'll do is, we tell our clients that, previous clients, when we're checking in, look, even though the transaction is over, our relationship doesn't end. If you need anything, house related, if you need a contractor, if you need to shop insurance quotes, if you need inspections, anything, like we're here to serve and assist you whenever that may be. And
Love
so
that.
I think for us, our clients know that we genuinely have a passion, that we care for them. And this is stuff that I picked up, well, from Karen, from my mom, Karen. But before, like my former career was very, very customer service oriented. So I picked up good traits from that I now instill in my practice today.
Love that.
What was that previous business, if you don't mind us asking?
Sure. So I worked for Enterprise Rent a Car for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise loves hiring recent college graduates. I worked my way up from the management training program to managing multiple locations and then ending it with the New Orleans Airport, which is the largest um, enterprise in the state. So and they were very, very focused on customer service, which
Mm-hmm.
I obtained, and then used what I learned there as a tool to proceeding with my real estate career.
And so you said you've been in real estate now for about 9 years. Is that right?
8 years, a
Eight
little bit
years.
over
Okay.
8 years.
Yeah.
8 years.
Awesome.
Awesome. So back to your first transaction. How did it come about? And how did that first closing end up? You said, I want to hear.
Yeah, she threw you in the deep end of the
I want to
pool.
hear how it went.
Yeah, so it was a lead that came in, I forget from where, and it was in the New Orleans metro area. Just is a 3 bed, 1 bath house. It was a single mom with her and her child, and I think the list price was around 115 back when prices were, much different then than they are now.
Right.
I believe, her name was Jocasta. I remember her name. I remember exactly who she was. And I showed her a few houses, and then it wasn't many. And then I showed her one, and of course, wrote the contract. I needed assistance, and we wrote it. And offer submitted, went through the whole inspections and closing, and I was like, okay, hey, mom, we're closing in a few days. Are you coming? She's like, no, you got it. You can go. And I was like, well, what did I do? She goes, the attorney will tell you. So, um, but yeah, no, I remember it very vividly.
Good. Good.
Nice.
How did you build a database? Did you build and organize a database, or how did your sphere of influence come about, and how do you have it organized? How do you cultivate it? How do you educate? Can you walk us through that?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a CRM that we use. And so it just started from that one transaction from day one, putting them in the database, and then also including like everybody I know, friends, family, everybody. And so what we do is we reach out, we have them on a schedule where we reach out it could be like every month or every 6 weeks or whatnot, but we're just always as a constant reminder. I also have it set up, another sheet set up where I have like leads, hot leads, people who are pre-approved. And so I kind of just go through the cycle that, hey, my guys that are pre-approved and actively searching, where are we at on that time frame? Because some people are pre-approved, but they kind of want to see and wait and hang out. And so, and then also just for regular leads, people I've spoken into the past that I got their information from the CRM, so they or at least are expressing some sort of interest, right? So it's just staying in constant communication, kind of, touching them and letting them know, like, hey, I'm still here. I haven't forgotten about you. At some point, you were obviously interested in real estate, and I'm here to serve and service your needs and help out.
Love that. What's CRM real quick? What are you using?
We use KV Core.
KV Core. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're an 8-year veteran now, an 8-year successful veteran of real estate. I would imagine that your day to day is a little different today than it was in 2016 when you started. But what's a typical day look like for you now?
Well, Rich,
If there is a
honestly,
typical day, I know it's real estate. There is no
yeah.
typical day, but if there was,
Honestly, I can tell you my days from now, 8 years in, has not changed that much from when I was day one. I I'm a grinder. I still
Mhm.
grind just as hard as I do today that I did 8 years ago. I go through my list, my lead list, my pre-approved list daily, and I know everybody who at least who's pre-approved, like what they're looking for. And then I search the MLS multiple times throughout the day. And if a house hits the market that I know is a good fit, in my mind, I have to get my clients in there first because if I don't, another realtor is going to bring their clients in. So I'm grinding just as hard as today as I did 8 years ago. Um, so there's no method to the mayhem other than throughout the whole entire day, I either have appointments scheduled where I'm showing property or I'm writing offers or I'm doing listing appointments, but um, I make it work.
So
Would you?
I'm gonna dig in deeper though. Like, what is your schedule tomorrow? Like, what time do you start in the morning? What do you do?
And
how
do you
many
have a
hours a
daily
day?
routine that you
Yeah,
are real strict about that
yeah.
helps set you up for success for the day?
Yeah, so I'm an early riser. Typically wake up between 5 and 5:30, make the first cup of coffee, and then I'm pulling up the MLS. Now, I will say typically agents are not posting their listings at 6 a.m., right? First thing in the morning. But as things, slowly come on, I'm monitoring. Typically, first and foremost, and I will say this, that I believe in a good work-life balance. So before I'm picking up my phone to like make a phone call to the first client, I'm going to the gym. I just feel like for me, I have to get, some sort of exercise in just for mental and physical health, right? And then it's picking up the phone and making phone calls and following up. And then my day can go in many different directions with whatever appointments I have set up. I definitely set up my appointments days in advance so that I know I can look at my calendar the night before, print up any listing paperwork that I need, or print up any MLS sheets that I need for the next day. I feel that proper planning prevents poor performance, right? So I like to be very structured and have everything I need so that as I'm going throughout my day, because nothing goes perfect and there will be a wrench thrown in here and there, but if I'm properly prepared as best as I can be, then I can navigate those little wrenches that may come up, right? So I think in real estate, it's very fluid, and to be successful in this industry, we need to learn how to adapt and move with it.
That's right. That makes sense. All right, I can't stand it any longer, and I'm not going to give Todd a third chance to ask or to tease our audience. Now, much of our audience is audio only,
Okay.
but for those who are watching us on YouTube or watching the video format of this, you have the top of a trophy sitting over your shoulder here,
I
and
do.
I happen to know what it is. And I'm really excited to bring it up. But talk to us about this trophy that you have, because it's not real estate related at all.
Sure. So when I'm not doing real estate, I'm very big into cooking and barbecuing. I'm on a competitive barbecue team named Rub Me Tender. We're out of Memphis, Louisiana.
Cute,
I'm
love it.
sorry, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm the only one from Louisiana. Well, there's two of us from Louisiana. And but we're a competitive barbecue cooking team. We compete at Memphis in May, the World Championship Barbecue Cooking Contest. And so
Which is, if it is not the, for those people who are not involved in competition barbecue, I will say that Memphis in May is one of the premier, if not the premier, event each year.
Competition.
There's
it's
there's that one, and there's the American Royal. These are the top of the top
Yeah, it's like
contests.
this. It's almost like the Super Bowl of
It
of,
is.
of
Uh,
barbecue
Yeah.
cooking competition.
Right.
So, my team brought me on in 2022 as the sauce guy. They knew I have a barbecue sauce in the New Orleans in grocery stores throughout the New Orleans metro area. It's called Lovey sauce, Lovie sauce, and it's my mom and dad call each other Lovey. So it's her recipe. They're the Loveys. We make this sauce ourselves, package it, and distribute it. And we're in 40 grocery stores. But getting back to the contest, went to Memphis and made most recently this past weekend, entered Lovey sauce, my barbecue sauce, and we were ranked number 3 overall in the whole world. So I know a lot of people
Fantastic.
are listening, but this is
That's a
this is
big trophy.
the official trophy from
That
Memphis.
is really exciting.
That
So
is
to
for,
be
to describe it. It's got multiple layers. It's got a base. It's got a middle. It's got a top. He's holding up the lovey sauce barbecue bottle
that's what it
right
looks
there.
like.
Love it. Love it.
So
So,
cool.
yeah, actually received a perfect score from the judges, but sometimes people tie. They do a coin flip, and we didn't get the coin flip thing go in our favor, but to receive a perfect score, to get a trophy and go on stage and hoist it in a few over 1,000 people was very exciting.
That's
So cool.
amazing. That's so cool.
Congratulations.
Good
Thank
for
you very
you.
much.
Good for you. So now I'm hungry.
Right?
Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But but that speaks though to your I don't know, your professionalism, your perfection, just your passion for something and passion for what you're doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. That's
Thank you
great.
very much.
That's
Yeah, I'm
great.
very, I like to think that I'm a very passionate person. I feel that for me personally, no matter what I do, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all in. Rather if that's real estate, rather if that's competing for a barbecue competition or whatever it may be. I'm just I love my family, I love my friends, so I just feel that I'm a very passionate person in general.
I love that.
Well,
That's
taking
great.
that passion to real estate too. I mean, it shows. It's the relationships.
Right.
It's getting up early in the morning and taking care of yourself and getting your mind right.
Yeah.
Looking at your schedule the night before and making sure
Right.
that you've got. I mean, all these little things.
Right.
Some people look at it and go, "Yeah, okay. Well, no,
Right.
I don't need to do it." Well,
Yeah.
maybe we do. I mean, that's all those little things add up and make a big difference.
Well, so tell us about your Instagram accounts, both for real estate as well as for your barbecue. Because I've seen some of your barbecue posts and recipes, and I'm like, oh, that looks so good.
Yeah.
So,
So I have a few different accounts. So I mean, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. For TikTok, I only post two things, and I say it in my profile. I'm only going to post some barbecue and real estate. That's it. That's my two little niches.
That's
For
my life. I can live with that.
Right? Yeah. So barbecue, you're not gonna see me dancing or doing any kind of TikTok dances, but I'll make some cool little videos. And then Instagram, I'm real big on just like my personal page where I post a lot of my real estate content as well. And then as well as the barbecue sauce page. And then we're on Facebook. I have a real estate business page there that I post almost daily something. If it's something I'm doing personally or just something anything like real estate related, just because out in this industry it's out of sight out of mind, so I just want to constantly be in the forefront. But I will say I try not to post everything real estate, because sometimes some agents, they post nonstop real estate, and this is relationship based. People, in my opinion, people don't want to see that all the time. They want to see you and with your family, or you on vacation, or you barbecuing or something. They want to, in my opinion, a more personal touch. And I think that you're just a regular person, just like anybody else. So I try not to post real estate um, content like 24/7.
right, right. So look him up, everyone. Look him up, and Briseno, correct?
That's
Yep,
it.
that's right. So go find him. Um, okay, so
And the team name is Rub Me Tender for those barbecue
Yeah.
folks out there.
right,
Hey, and also just shout out to Rub Me Tender. We came in number 10 overall in whole hog. So we're on
That's
the
a big
stage.
deal.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations.
wow,
we were on stage again with a trophy. So we're very, very excited.
that's that's good.
I'm excited for you. That's fantastic.
Me too. Now I'm hungry. Now I need to go find some of that lovey sauce
There you
and get some good barbecue. Okay, so back to your career here, real estate. Where would you say most of your success has come from a standpoint of a tactic and action uh, that you do on a regular basis or that you've done?
You know, honestly, Todd, I would say that from the early days of working, like really working my sphere of people, and my network of people, because, listen, as a when I was a newer realtor, people were a little nervous, they're like, oh, he's licensed, but he's a little new. Does he know what he's doing? But it just took that one person to trust me, and then they saw how I was able to help them, right? And then word started spreading from one person to two to three to, here we are. And now I'm helping, still helping like my sphere, but word it's built naturally, right?
Right.
Um, and for me, my success has become that I feel that I'm genuine with my clients. And I tell even when I meet a brand new client and I'm showing them a property, before I put the key in the door and I say, listen, I'm just gonna let you know right now, this is our first time meeting, but I'm very transparent. We're gonna walk in this house, and if I see good stuff going on, I'm gonna point that out. But if I see red flags and things that don't look like that may be an issue, I'm gonna tell you that as well, because I'm gonna give you the information and then just let you make an informed decision. So I think, for me, that has gotten out like, hey, this guy, Richard, really cares about us, has our best interest in hand. And word is just, here we are 8 years in, and it's spreading, and people continue to
Yep.
reach out.
Yep. Well, you just made me think of your broker. We got to give a big shout out to your broker leader,
Yeah.
for our franchise partner there in New Orleans, Vicky Vassar. We were recently, both Rich and I, with you and your whole group there in New Orleans, and we did a awards event. We also did a little marketing meeting, brainstorming, masterminding, etc. But Vicky was talking about an award she gave out on her. It was from her son, the "We Not Me," and you just keep using the word serve, help, and I think your brokerage, and this is a tribute to you, Vicky. I think all of your agents down there in New
Yeah.
Orleans really operate under a "we, not me" mindset, and that service-oriented, mindset really comes
Yeah.
through. So I commend you for that.
Yeah, Vicky's great. Vicky, she's a phenomenal broker, and we're very blessed to have her. And last year, was the first year that she had actually given out that award out for the first time, and I was fortunate enough she gave it to me
Right?
for the first time that she had done that, and that
I
was,
remember that.
we got a
Yeah.
few awards last year, but that was the most memorable one for sure.
Right. Right. But that whole servant mindset, and this is where I was going with this was I also know that uh, there's there was an event going on in the country that was at the national level, and there's national um, people that are in the news, and they're moving to New Orleans. And a lot of agents, I guess, would hear that and they would think, okay, great, but you did something really unique. But you did it from a "we, not me" mindset. You're like, they need help. They're moving to New Orleans. It doesn't matter that they're famous or well known on a national level. I want to help them. And you reached out. And you reached
Uh,
out to some national people that were
yeah.
moving to New Orleans. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, so look, I'm always looking for different ways, just different ways to maybe set myself apart and be different. And so with the recent NFL draft, there was 5 or 6 draft picks that got picked by the New Orleans Saints. I said, so what do I have to lose? I actually, went on Instagram and reached out to each one individually, just saying, hey, congratulations, welcome to New Orleans. If you need help finding somewhere to rent or stay short term or whatever the case may be, I'd love the opportunity. I've actually helped a few of the New Orleans Saints players in the past, so I was kind of able to list them as, for credibility purposes, and we've helped a couple of the coaches. And I had one person to respond, so we've been in contact, showing him a couple places, and so we're gonna see where he ends up. But it is a pretty neat experience.
Well, I was just commending you because a lot of times I think agents, our mindset, we limit ourselves by our mindset, and I think your attitude was a little, we, not me, but
Yeah.
also, and I want to help, so why not me? Why not? They're going to need help from someone. Why not me? And you impressed me with that, and you're out of the box thinking, and also not limiting yourself and just reaching out. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
well
will,
done.
I will, I will say this because, I'm sure many people across the nation are going to be listening to this. So a good out of the box lead generation I'll share. I'm only a little nervous because I don't know who in New Orleans is going to hear this. I don't want anybody to take my idea, but we'll risk it. One thing that I did that I had tremendous success on was I was able to get contact information for the decision makers at medical schools, and as well as like dental schools, medical schools, physician assistants. And then I interviewed 5 lenders to see who had the best physician loan, right? Then I partnered with these lenders with one particular lender once I, you know, said who would be the best fit for these potential, future medical residents. And anyways, long story short, I was able to get into LSU School of Dentistry a couple months ago, and I presented how to buy a seminar on how to buy a house we had about 50 third and fourth year dental students. And then I had the lender speak about a physician's loan and how it'd be 100% financing, no money down, which is very attractive. And because, a lot of medical students, when they graduate, they come have all this debt. So one of the cool things about that loan product was they didn't take the debt into consideration. So the student loan debt. And so,
Yeah.
anyways, we were able to show like, hey, if you want to buy a house, this is something to think about. And so a lot of them, they have lunch and learns where people come and pitch different medical products or services. But here I am as a realtor, just teaching them basic fundamental things, how to buy a house and show them the benefit of that. And so presenting it 40, 50 students and then being invited back for the following year, really, it was very beneficial.
Well, being invited back because it was so valuable. That's what I was like,
Yeah.
wow. That's what I was trying to tap into with the story about your mindset, about trying to find out more ways that you can help. But by doing it, you researched it ahead of time. You dug
Mhm.
in. You said there's a need here. I'm going to find a solution, then I'll go communicate the solution.
Many
So,
agents don't realize that there's alternative products out there for medical professionals because, like you said, they come out of school, they have a tremendous amount of debt, they've got high income, but not a lot of savings.
right.
And so it's critical that we as professionals know that. So
Right.
well done, Richard.
Yeah.
That's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge.
Yeah. So what else, Rich? What other questions do you want to ask?
I was just all about the barbecue. I real estate, absolutely, you bet. But I've just been so excited to have Richard on here to talk about his barbecue sauce and the team and what they've done. Just because that's a passion of mine as well. So
Well, I've got
I have barbecue brain this morning.
I've got one that I've been saving toward the end here, and it's about goal setting. I've seen you, and we've talked. We've known each other for many, many years, and I know you've set goals, and I know you've reached them, and then you reset some goals, and you reach them. Can you just talk a little bit about your mindset, goal setting, how you execute?
Sure. I had goals set for 2023 that I put forth that at the end of 2022, I set my goals for 2023. And 2023 was a very challenging year, especially in the New Orleans market. We had faced a major hurricane in 2021. Insurance premiums skyrocketed, homeowners insurance premiums skyrocketed, and it was an extreme uphill battle for us. So, reaching my goals, some goals I reached in 2023 and some I didn't. I will say, in some sense, 2023 was a year that I needed. It humbled me, it humbled me and reminded me. It kind of brought me down to like when I was a first year realtor, and so even though it was the most challenging year for me, in some sense, I'm glad it happened. I needed that. I needed that reminder, right? And so when I go and set my goals, I kind of have this mentality um, that listen, being a realtor is can be challenging, right? Getting up, grinding it out, working your network, working your sphere, that's hard. Like doing this day in, day out is hard. Making content, just putting yourself out there doing it's challenging. It's hard. But you know what else is hard is sitting in the office, staring at your phone, waiting for it to ring, not having leads, not having clients, not having houses to sell or people to help or people to service. That's hard too. So you have to make a decision. Both directions are hard, so you need to choose your hard. It's going to be hard no matter what. You need to
Right.
choose which one to go with. And so I had that mentality when I set my goals that I told myself that I will never have another 2023 again, and that I will excel with all my goals in 2024. And so far this year, I'm just about and I have to look in the RSA, but I'm just about where I was so far this year compared to all of last year.
Wow.
And so for me, I just have the mentality that I am one of the best here in the area, and I genuinely care about people. And so I take these things when I set my goals into consideration, and then just um, excel upon that.
Yep.
So yeah, we typically set our goals as a team and individually towards the end of the previous year.
Do you have any accountability partners, or do you have any? I think sometimes as professionals, the people we surround ourselves with who make us better. Who yesterday you and I were having a conversation and we were going back and forth debating, something. Well, what it was it
Yeah.
helped us hone what we need to be communicating
Well,
to
it was a healthy
agents.
argument. Yeah.
It was well, but it helps us communicate,
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what we really need to be communicating
Right.
to agents to help them, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's important who you surround yourself with, and accountability is a big factor. Do you have people in your life that help
Yes,
spur you on?
sure. So yes, so towards the end of the year, we had a team meeting, Kelly, my mom Karen, and myself, and we set goals where we set quarterly goals, monthly goals, and then yearly goals, and we wrote it all out. And so when we do our meetings, our team meetings, we're looking at these goals to see, okay, did we hit our goal for April? All right, if we didn't, what was the reasoning behind it? Let's get back. What can we do to get back on track? So
Right,
we encourage one another to make sure that we are in fact staying on top of our goals and then exceeding it. I will say this also, besides like goals in regards to real estate, but I think who you associate yourself with. I try to associate myself with positive people, my friend group, all positive people, leaders, because I thrive off of that, and I feel that when you surround yourself with good people in your life, good things are going to come from you as well.
right,
So, and I feel like if you have good people in your life that they know and if they know what your goals are, then they're going to hold you accountable as well.
right, right.
I think you've touched on, wow, a number of things here. This is a master class of how to do it right in a short amount of time. And it is a relationship-based business, and clearly, Richard, you have been your authentic self from day one, and so well done. I commend you for that. It's being authentic is critical in this business. You got to be who you are and lean into that.
Right. So, the podcast here is called The Real State. It's all about being real, being authentic, and with our audience, as Rich just said, you're obviously all of that. But knowing our audience, knowing who's listening, uh, is there anything you want to share with the audience? Anything we didn't really touch on with a question, but anything you'd like to share with your fellow realtors?
Um, I just, kind of touch base on what we previously discussed. This is a great industry. I love being a realtor. I absolutely love it. It's relationship based. I love meeting people. And I like helping people and being good at what I do. And I feel that, every realtor has the same opportunity. It just comes down to it. Like, it just comes down to, are you taking care of your clients? Are you doing the right things the right way? Because I'm a firm believer, if you do, then good things will come back to you. If you take care of your people will take care of you.
Right.
So for me, I can suggest that to people listening that the opportunity is there. It's
Right.
right in front of you. You just need to go and grab it and take it, and it can be yours.
Right. Well,
Great.
last question. One thing that we often ask is if there's one thing you wish someone would have told you way back when at the beginning of your career, what would it have been?
Um,
Maybe a lesson learned or something
yeah.
that, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Or
Yeah,
wish I
right.
would have
Well,
Yeah.
known. Wish I would have known.
so for me, it would be, and I'm glad you asked this question. For me, it would be to know your worth. Okay. And when I say that, when I was a brand new realtor, and if I had somebody, and this only happened once. And my mom, Karen, she allowed it to happen, but it was more for just for a lesson, right? So I had somebody called. They want to see a house. They weren't pre-approved, and I was like, they want to see, one house, two houses, whatnot. And I made the appointment. I said, sure thing, and run out the office and go show them these houses. And then it turned into, well, since we're out here, can we see like three more houses? No problem. And I'm calling and show them, I ended up showing them five houses, right? And within like a couple hours span. And I was like, all right, great. Like, we saw five houses. You like one? You want to speak to a lender, get you pre-approved? Yeah, I'll talk to a lender. And turns out they couldn't get pre-approved, right? So they pretty much had me running around all over the place. They couldn't get pre-approved to begin with, and which is fine. But when I came back and I was a little frustrated, I told my mom, I was like, oh man, I just showed five houses. Person can't get pre-approved. And my mom was like, yep. She's like, you just need to know your worth. When you're showing houses, showing a house to somebody who may not be pre-approved, I give everybody one, at least for it could be a meet and greet. And then if they want to see anything more, well, you got to show me something. You got to show that you're willing to at least have a discussion with a lender. If you can get pre-approved or not, I don't know. But the know your worth comes back to that. My mom was just telling me, like, don't let people run you around ragged, because they will. So here at our office at HomeSmart Realty South, I run and oversee our mentor program, right? So I'm the mentor manager. So whenever I meet with a new agent and we start training, that's one of the very first things I tell them. It may be the first thing I tell them, like, know your worth, guys. Do not let anybody run you around. Stand up for yourself. And if you give people an opportunity to take advantage of you, they will. And so I really, as these younger agents come in, I'm trying to put that into them, because that's what was instilled to me when I was a brand new agent.
Right. Love it.
Great answer.
That is a great answer. Well, this has been great. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us here today. Your favorite recipe for barbecue. We got to end on the barbecue note.
Oh, now we're
Like,
talking.
what's your favorite dish that you've created in the last year?
Well, there's no barbecue sauce in it, but at Memphis in May, I was in charge of seafood, the seafood category. So
Oh,
I can send you a
Really?
picture. So I made a crawfish boudin king cake. And
Are you kidding me? That's awesome.
that is
yeah,
awesome.
I made crawfish boudin king cake, and it was a huge hit. So much, it was so much a hit that, and I'm not familiar with him. Like I said, my team's all from Memphis, Nashville area, but the biggest news media person in the Memphis area reached out to me, and I just did a 30-minute phone interview with him earlier this morning, and he's doing a huge feature about it. So, but I'll send you some pictures. It was great.
Please do.
Yeah,
Please
we're all
do.
about that.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
see that. But thank
people who don't know, Mardi Gras, king cake, the pastry with the icing and this and that. So crawfish, boudin, king cake. Boudin's like a sausage with rice and either crawfish or rice and pork with seasoning. So I'll send a picture, and it was delicious.
Oh, it
I'm
sounds
dying here.
delicious. Sounds delicious.
Yeah,
Well,
that sounds great.
thank you.
What a great interview. What a great conversation.
was.
Richard, thank you very much.
Yep.
Keep on crushing it, man.
Thank you, guys.
You've got us in your corner.
Yep.
We're total fans.
Yep.
Well, I'm here whenever y'all want to talk. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, thank you. Richard Briseno, HomeSmart Realty South in New Orleans, and one of our best. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.
You too.
Too.
And for all of you, we'll see you back on future episodes. Hope you love this one. If so, punch the like button down below.
You
share
know
it
what?
with all
Even
your
if you don't
friends.
like Todd or
Yeah.
me, if you like the content here, give us a big thumbs up for Richard.
Yeah.
He deserves that.
Yeah.
So punch that like button. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Take care.
Thanks,
We'll
guys.
see you all. We'll see you all back on future episodes.
Like what you're hearing on The Real Estate? Tell your friends about us. Tell them to check out all of our episodes on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. And don't forget to send any topics you want us to tackle to therealestate@homesmart.com.